What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Young Professional Show. Today, we have an incredible guest, our own Montana Kloss, the Young Professional State Leader for Texas. And what area specifically, Montana, are you in?
So I'm in Austin, but I service the Central Texas region. So Austin to San Antonio and anywhere in between.
Okay, gotcha. And she has a super cool story about being young, hungry in real estate like a lot of us are. So I think we're going to be able to learn a lot and hear about how she got started and everything. My first question about being a Texas realtor is all the time I'm scrolling through social media and I'll see like the most extravagant house tour. And then it says like $180,000. What is your average price? Because why am I seeing all these amazing houses for $200,000 in Texas?
So in Austin specifically, our average right now is at 450.
Okay. So that's quite similar to ours.
Is it?
Yeah, because we're in Phoenix. Larry's in Florida, kind of the St. Pete, Tampa area. Larry, what's your average price over there?
Similar.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, Montana, let's go back. Let's reel in your story a little bit, because we know you got started at a pretty young age and you were pretty hungry from the beginning. So let's go back to high school, Montana. What were you thinking you were going to do?
The very beginning. So actually so my mom is a realtor in Houston. Phenomenal, by the way. But growing up, I was exposed to, all the things. I'd help her on showings and I'd overhear her. I'd help where I could. And eventually I became so fluent and I actually started taking an interest in real estate as a career opportunity for myself.
During high school?
During high school.
At what age?
This was probably 16, 17. Yeah.
Wow.
So I graduated high school a year early, and I enrolled in real estate courses. I was 17 at the time. Enrolled. So
wow.
The test, I took the test. I couldn't even take the test because I wasn't 18. So by the time I finished, and so I took the test a week after my 18th birthday and just hit the ground running from there.
That's funny. We did the exact same thing. Was Jacob and I still lived in Iowa, and so we started our real estate school when we were 17 and did the Arizona school while we were still in high school, and then we finished it when we got here too. So that's funny. We have the exact same way.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we didn't have any mentors. So luckily for you,
I did.
Were you pretty close to your mom then at that point, as far as like the business goes?
Yeah, I was. My mom was a huge help when I first started. I got connected when I moved to Austin. I got connected with an agent here in Austin. Her name's Vanessa Nunez. She's fantastic if you know her. But I got connected with her and she really helped me jumpstart, my career in Austin. I moved here and I didn't know a single soul, and so it was hard. It was tough.
So why did you go to a university that was farther away? Why didn't you stay close to home?
Really just for what they offered. At the time I was thinking about going in for nutrition. And then I switched to nursing, and I laugh about that all the time because there's no way I can do nursing. And so I switched to that because the University of Texas has a great nutrition and nursing program. And so that's what actually brought me here. And then I switched as soon as I got here. So I realized that's not what I need to be in.
So are you still in school?
I am. Yes.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Montana is the perfect balance between a full-time business person and a full-time student.
Yeah. So I graduated in May, so I'm like on my last leg, but for the past 4 years, I got licensed right at the beginning of college. And so my entire career, I have been a full-time student and a full-time real estate agent. And it's been interesting to balance the two, but it's worked.
But you're not getting a business degree.
No, my degree is in communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your plans for that? Do you see it separating? Like, does real estate and your education, are they completely separate roads, or do you think they go hand in hand and that's what you're going to continue to do?
I think they intertwine. Communication is the foundation, right, of real estate. So learning, just tips and tricks on how to properly communicate with people and your clients is really key. So that's the goal with that, is just using it as a foundation, really.
Gotcha. So let's go back to that first year in real estate. You move away, you're on your own.
Yeah.
How does somebody move to a different city and take over from that point? And how did you attract business from the beginning anyways?
So I'll tell you what. So my first year when I moved to, it was half in Houston and half in Austin, but that first year I closed 11 transactions.
Wow.
That was during 2020. So this was like pandemic. Everybody doesn't know what to do. Everything's online. Everybody's stuck at home. Showings were all virtual. Like, it was crazy. It was a madhouse. Second year, I closed 30 transactions. So what I really did, when you move to a city, you don't know anybody, you just got to show up. Like, it was really just about making sure that I was saying yes to everything. I was reaching out to other agents in my marketplace. There's no such thing to me as competition. Instead, it's collaboration. And so, there's no way I could do Austin by myself, and we have to work as a team, everybody together. So, yeah, as a new agent, like, just reaching out and offering to help. My first year, I was a showing assistant, to a lot of agents. Like, I just reached out and I was like, I'll do showings, $25 a door. Like, I wanted the experience. I wanted to get comfortable opening doors and meeting clients and creating schedules, creating routes. And so I think that really did a lot for me, of just being available, and just showing up, really saying yes, and using that slow time, when you're just sitting at home and nobody knows what to do. I use that time to prepare and educate myself on the market. I was studying the market daily. I was talking with other agents and getting creative with my marketing, and getting creative with how I can, continue to evolve, basically, and into becoming the agent that I wanted to be.
Wow. That's an incredible success. I mean, right from the beginning, 30 transactions in the second year, which was 2021,
Yeah.
which was such a hot time. And I'm curious, do you know, were you doing a lot of sales? I mean, was it buyer or seller from your first 2 years?
So it was a mix between buyers, sellers, and renters. So I did, a lot of lease transactions,
Yeah.
that me to get a lot of that. But I did have quite a few buyers in that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. That's kind of what our first year looked like too, was we were doing a lot of the leases, which you don't make a ton of money for, but I'm thankful because it puts you through that process just like any other transaction.
And then they turn
It
into
does.
buyers as well. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. I think it's so good for a new agent, because I feel like there's not as much, you're not as stressed during it. Like, it's, and with buyers, sometimes, for a new agent, it can be intimidating. And I think, at least for renters, it's a little less intimidating, but it still gives you the experience. And you're right, like, turns into buyers most of the time, especially if you continue to nurture them and keep in touch with them over the years. And everybody knows somebody too, so it's a great referral, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you feel like you were calling back home to your mom to like figure out new tactics, or was she training you like over the phone too?
she was. I mean, she was a great help when I needed stuff. I definitely relied a lot on her to kind of help me get through it, and also my mentor here in Austin.
So were you a solo agent at this point, or you were on a team?
I was solo. Yeah.
Brave. And Larry, you're still a solo agent. Jacob and I are not. We took on the team right away. We just liked the morale. So, are you still a solo agent?
I am.
And you like it? Do you have plans to start a team?
Not at the moment. Maybe in long-term future, but not at the moment, no.
Just gonna keep crushing it.
I like the personable feeling towards that. I mean, not to say that you can't have that as a team, but for me, it works out, with my schedule, and that's just, my clients know me as just me, myself, you know.
Yeah. So what year are you on now?
Coming up on my 4th year. It'll be 4 years in May.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does like the business, like where the business comes from now compared to like your first year? Like, is it different? Is it the same? What are you doing?
Um, it's the same. I mean, a lot of it now it's shifted into referrals, as I've just gotten more experience under my belt and been able to talk with more people. But I still do a handful of leases. I still do a handful of buyers, you know, still doing open houses and just the basics, you know.
You talked about your marketing. What is, you know, setting your marketing apart, or what is your primary vehicle for marketing?
So marketing comes, it's a lot of social media and marketing. I mean, to me, it's more of just who I am as an agent and not physical marketing, if that makes sense. Like it's about that confidence, you know, and that's kind of where I take it. But it is a lot of social media, I would say, is probably the biggest marketing tactic that I use.
And so you're actively acquiring clients or referrals through social media. What part of your business do you think that is, percentage wise?
Um, Maybe about 25%. Pretty big, you know, not, I wouldn't say more than half, but yeah, about 25%.
Yeah. I feel like social media is such a good way to get into other agents' eyes. To get agent to agent referrals through social media is kind of like the name of the game. That's what I'm starting to really figure out.
Yeah.
And you're also like the most active person on Workplace. I feel like every like 2 or 3 times a day I get a message, Montana Kloss just commented your name in a Workplace group. And so you are just constantly on there. Is that what you do? You just sit there all day and hit referrals?
You know, I don't actually. I try to put my phone down as much as I can during the workday, but it's what it is setting your notifications on is really, really key. And I learned, you know, I kept missing out on stuff on Workplace. And eventually I like went in, I was like, what am I missing? And I went into my notifications and they're like highlights only. So make sure to make sure it says all and not highlights, because that made a big difference for me. And so now I just see, and when I see like Phoenix or Scottsdale or, you know, anything, I'm like, Andrew, Jacob. So always
Yeah.
text guys, but yeah,
I appreciate
Do you
that.
get a lot of referrals through Workplace?
I do. I do.
And Austin is, you know, similar. It's actually funny because we're all from a city that had, you know, some of the most growth through the COVID times. And do you find that when there's something on Workplace posted, Austin, there's like 7 million agents that respond?
Yeah, there's a lot of agents.
And so what sets you apart?
You know, I think it's the follow-up. I know that I have a lot of agents behind my back that will tag me from previous referrals. And so that obviously is amazing, and I'm very thankful for that. But really just like, I think it's sending them a message immediately and introducing yourself and just saying like, I would love the opportunity to work with you and work with your client. Here's my contact information, like, please call me. And I mean, I reach out to them on every platform that I can, you know, trying to just get my name to them as quickly as possible. And then following up with them in the days ahead, because sometimes like people just get busy, you know, I mean, we get very busy. And so people don't respond to those messages or things fall through or something. So just about, you know, um, keeping your name in their mind.
And so do you message them on Workplace and then also pick up the phone and call if you don't hear back from them? And then you're, you know, even if it says like agent found, you know, when they like edit the post, you're staying with them, following up until it's basically like, hey, like, you know, they already like closed the deal with that
I
client.
do. Yeah, I do. I kind of think of it like just a random internet lead. It's the same thing, really. You know, I mean, probably not as much legwork to it, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because when I would comment on Workplace stuff, I was I'll be the first to say I was like the one message kind of, and then if they don't respond, I'm like, whatever. Like,
Right.
that doesn't work, by the way, if you're listening.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. But yeah, referrals have been a huge, huge part of my business. Very, very thankful for it. So.
Yeah. It's crazy because Larry, I was just like you. I did the exact, and I would just text them through work chat. Like I would just DM them, and literally like 0 for 5. They wouldn't even respond. So I was like, what am I doing? Why am I not just
I
getting
got one even better than that. I think Eden tagged me in one like last week, and I messaged and like put together a really nice message, and then she was even like, okay, great, I'll put you in touch with them, like you won the referral. And then I was like, awesome, I'll look forward to that. And then like nothing, and I'm just like followed up one time. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a heartbreaker. So I started just directly texting them through their phone number because their phone number is right there. Of course, they're not going to respond to a workplace chat. Like I don't respond to my workplace chats. I'm bad about it, but I'll respond to a text. I'm 2 for 2 this last week, just texting them. So it seems pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
But I think Montana is right though, because if I think about the times when I send an outgoing referral, and balancing that with like my day-to-day business stuff is like whoever makes it most easiest for me. Obviously, whoever presents himself as the best agent as well, but whoever makes it easiest for me is typically who I go with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nobody likes to go and fish around for your phone number and all that. So it's just about reaching out and showing that you have interest, and that like, hey, this is why I'm perfect for this position and would love to interview you or get interviewed. So
Yeah. You kind of mentioned online leads there. Is that something that you have done in the past or still do?
I've never done online leads. I don't believe in them, honestly.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't either. I do them. And I still don't yeah, I have realtor.com and a bunch of them, and I just hate the process. You know what I mean? Like
it's expensive for
it's
like 3 leads a month, I think, for realtor.com, depending on your area.
Yeah. I don't even know how much it's like.
It's like $90 per lead.
Yeah.
But we don't even have like the best zip code in our area. It's
So
like
you don't do any paid lead, Jen?
I don't.
Wow, lucky you. Are you one of those people that like? I'm definitely this way, but if I can get you face to face, I think I'll be able to close a deal with you versus over the phone. Like I don't see the connection as much.
I think both. I do think that, meeting in person, I can create a personal relationship, but over the phone, I think I can do that as well.
There you go. You're a double-edged sword. Look at you go. So you do open houses or anything like that?
I do. Yeah, I do open houses. They're fun. I like them actually. So I do them. It's a great way to pick up buyers really quickly. People, it's people literally walking in and saying, I'm looking actively right now and I do not have an agent. It's like one of the best one of the best lead gen sources. Key for open houses is a sign-in sheet though, I've learned, and like a good sign-in sheet. And just maintaining like a script of some sort, get them talking and keep following up with them every single day is a chance.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange because we've heard so many things about how to do open houses correctly. Like last week we had on Michelle Miramontes, and she is the queen of open houses, and it's completely like trashing, like no more flyers, no more of the usual stuff. But you're exactly right. I mean, it is probably the best way to get business from a young person, a young agent's perspective. And then on top of that, at the very least, you're at least getting into conversations with people.
Right.
And that's more important than anything, really.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've had, I've gotten like closed deals with people that have walked in from open houses like day of, back in when it was very, very hot last summer, or summer before that, I had somebody walk in and was like, want to make an offer right now on this, all cash. And it was like, okay. So obviously I was like just starting and I was like, oh my gosh. So, but I mean, it does work, and people do, it happens every once in a while for that.
I often have dreams of something like that happening.
Wasn't
I'm
good.
doing yeah, I'm doing like an open house, and it's my listing too, and someone just walks in and they're just like, they take like, they take like maybe 3 minutes to do the tour, and they don't even want to like listen to anything I say, and then they just buy it.
Right. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Larry, have you ran an open house in the last 2 weeks?
No.
Yeah.
How are you guys? Are you guys still doing them every
Yeah, I did one like 2 days ago and yesterday.
Okay, because I knew you had a big goal for this year and doing that. I'm glad you're still doing it. I'll do one eventually, I guess.
Hands off. Montana, what's your open house schedule look like? How often are you doing them?
I do them whenever I can. I try to do them as often as possible, but sometimes during, noon on a Saturday it gets a little tricky. But I usually just do it for a couple hours and just sit there. And if, people come in, wonderful. If not, I would get some work done and, it works out. But definitely like signage has really, really been something, making sure you have all your signs out and making it, accessible for people.
Yeah.
So then, like, I guess my question is, it's a two-part question. And like, what are your plans for scaling or growth, or where is the rest of your business? Because obviously, like, your real estate is a contact sport, right? Like, you could sell to your past clients, but it might take a year to 7 years for them to resurface to buy, another property, or to list the property you already sold them. What is your main source of like meeting more people, new people?
So I really, really believe in Ricky Caruth and what he does. So that's probably gonna, like, that's where my main focus is right now, is just getting in contact with these homeowners and just, I mean, it's so simple. Like, what in the world can I do for you? And just keeping that. I have a newsletter right now. And so it's just about continuing to grow my database every day. And, I mean, that in itself works.
So have you started cold calling then, homeowners?
I do. Yeah. I
How's
do
it been
2
working?
hours a day, time block.
Really?
I do 2 hours a day, 9 to 11 or somewhere around there.
And what do you
Sometimes it's
use?
like 12, but I use Red-X. Yeah. I
Okay.
use Red-X and then Vortex to make the dialer.
Sure. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been on and off for my entire career. I started, when I first started, I was doing it, but I wasn't consistent with it. And then over the past, it was like my 2023 goal to just be more consistent with it. So I'd say I've been super consistent since January. And I don't have anything from it yet, but I have people that are saying it in the next like month or so, they're going to be ready to sell, and they're going to call me and, whatever. So we'll see if it works out.
That's exciting. Like, it doesn't need to convert now, right? But you're getting yourself in front of people and building relationships for the future. And like, if you don't mind me asking, what has your database looked like since then and before then? Like, have you doubled it? Have you tripled it?
I believe it's doubled. I want to say just over, like, from what I normally do to getting those contacts in my entire career, it's doubled from cold calling. Yeah.
Were you nervous to do it?
I was when I first started, and I still get, certain times, but it's something Ricky had said maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, and he said, like, you're getting on the phones to hear a no. Like, you want to hear a no, so that way you can continue building the relationships. And I think once I heard that, it like took all the stress off my shoulders, and I was like, okay, like, I'm not looking for a yes right now. I'm looking just for, an email or just something to keep in contact. And so I think knowing that, it's put me a lot at ease.
Definitely.
You mentioned that you have that on a time block schedule, and that's something that I'm curious with, because you got to be just a busy person with what you're doing. What does your schedule look like, and are you pretty good at maintaining a routine?
I think a routine is like the biggest key for anything, and of course time blocking and making it consistent. So yeah, I mean, I do my two to 4 hours a day of, my prospecting, and that's always in the mornings. And then in the afternoons is when I do my meetings or my classes, get some stuff done.
What's your class schedule look like?
So right now it's a lot easier. It's just two classes, so it's just 2 hours a week. But my second year, when I did those 30 transactions in that year, I was doing 15 hours at school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're definitely staying busy.
I was busy. Yeah, I did not have any time to do anything else. And so I was pulling all-nighters and whatever I could just to, my day was real estate. Like, at night I would get on my computer and I'd get my homework done or whatever.
Yeah.
Get my essays done.
Yeah. That's impressive. We didn't go to college. We kind of skipped that process and just got straight into real estate. Larry, did you go to college? I don't think we've ever even talked about this.
So I did go to college. Which is how I got into real estate, because I was working full time. I was going to college full time, and I was like, God, this really sucks. Like, I was paying my way, I was working, a job that paid for college. And so subsequently I was like super broke all the time and had like no time. And I was like, this kind of sucks. And I don't even know why I'm going to college. You know what I mean? To make like maybe like 80 grand a year in whatever respective field and degree that I earn, that I don't even know that I really want to do. And so I was like, you know what? I'll take the real estate course. I'll pay $500 to like get my license. And that seemed like a good investment, because I'm pretty math oriented. And I was like, if it doesn't work, I wasted a month and $500, and then I'll just continue doing this. And then I stopped going to college in lieu of learning real estate. And but I always, told myself I would go back. And now I would just go back to like kind of like Montana saying, like, get used to like time blocking and like a schedule and meet new people. Honestly, I'd probably just go back and tell everybody I'm a real estate agent and try to like put them in my database to sell them real estate.
Which is a great idea.
That's a worthy investment.
That was my question to you. Do you get business through school? I'd imagine you do.
I don't. I don't think. I think maybe in the future, but just right now, I mean, everybody at this campus is early 20s.
Sure. What school is it?
University of Texas at Austin.
Okay, so because I wasn't thinking like the students, but here in Florida, like it's pretty common for like second, third year students, like parents to like buy a condo in the area so that they don't, they have an investment to where they're not like paying their kid rent or whatever dorm or place they live. So
yeah, that's true. I haven't had anybody specifically, but I've helped like investors get into near campus, but not from school in that way. So, but that is a good point.
Do you have any like fellow students that you're with that are like curious about real estate from like the sales perspective side and like hop on the train with you?
The amount of DMs that I get about friends and like, past classmates and stuff from high school, they message me all the time, like, how do you get into it? So I have a lot of people that ask, but yeah.
Gotcha. And what size of the town that you grew up? Or did you grow up from like kind of a bigger town, or?
I grew up in Tomball, in like Spring area near the Woodlands in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not super small, but it's not super big either.
Really?
So it's, yeah.
We grew up in a town of 800.
Okay.
So was it like a lot bigger than that?
Oh, a lot bigger than that. Yes.
Yeah, I could imagine. So now where are you at with the business? How's it looking? And my next question for you is do you have any rental properties? And is that something that you're going to get into?
Rental properties is definitely one of my goals. I don't have any currently, but that's definitely something that I'm working my way up towards. But just as the business, like my biggest thing is just growing, every day in every way that I can. Always keeping my marketing up to date and seeing where I can improve. keeping, adding people to the database consistently and making sure that that's growing weekly. I'm just talking to as many people as I can.
Yeah, that's amazing. When we reached out to all the young professionals, and I know you wanted to talk about what you guys got going on in the state because your young professionals chapter is killing it. I mean, you guys just look so good in comparison to like the rest of us. You make us all jealous. So we'll talk about that. But we did have some questions for you, and a lot of it was about social media. I think
Okay.
that's kind of the big thing, and they wanted to know: do you plan out your social media? Do you have it all organized?
So I sort of plan it out, but not really. I kind of just go, as things come up, I just post. Having a schedule like that, it's never been something I've done before.
Yeah, it's not like overly important to you. You don't think?
It's not. It's just the more important thing is that I'm posting every day and being consistent with it. And so some days, I don't have really anything to post, so I'll post, I have to figure something else out. So I don't have like days scheduled. And things pop up so often now, like there's no way I can make a schedule for what I'm going to post.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, though. Getting so busy. And so,
Yeah.
do you do like TikTok, and do you do that stuff as well?
So I started TikTok, but I posted 3 times and I haven't done anything else with it. So that's something I need to work on, but just doing like walkthrough videos of homes was what I started on TikTok and did like a voiceover where I would talk. And so I definitely want to get back on that. But really my main social media is Instagram and Facebook. That's really it. I mean, LinkedIn.
Reels or posts?
Posts, but reels are my next thing. So I want to use like my goal is to start posting on TikTok and then using, those same videos and posting them as reels on Instagram. So it's just about getting, doing that. So
Yeah, yeah. I see you. You seem to have you just put up a new listing, didn't you?
yeah, I had one last week and then I have 2 that coming this week.
Yeah, the homes that you've been posting look beautiful. I would love to see videos of them. So you should definitely go in and do that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your Texas young professionals. Let's talk about what you guys are doing because
Okay.
we're kind of getting lifted off in Arizona with doing in-person stuff. So I want to hear what you guys got going on.
So the young professionals in Texas, like our goal is to really create a community where, young professionals, we can collaborate with each other. Texas is a very, very large state. And so we had to divide all those into the major metroplexes. So every city is kind of planning their own thing in a way. But we are in the midst of planning in-person launch parties coming soon. And then we're also working on planning some more events that will include like masterminding to help each other, grow and teach each other. Mostly like agents to agents is what we're planning for young professionals there. But we'll be posting those events on our Instagram. So, definitely get followed on that. And then we'll just be posting them as they roll out.
Yeah, most definitely. And how often are you guys all talking, the state leaders?
We talk, we are in a group chat, so we're sending stuff every day, just like little wins here and there and motivation stuff. Like, it's just great to be a part of, a group that has your back. But as far as like meeting, we meet bi-weekly, and that's where like our, where we do our event planning and we talk about kind of, what we have going on and what we would like to see young professionals move towards just in Texas.
Yeah.
How did you guys network and find each city's, state leader? Who's spearheaded that and like how did that come about?
That would be Eden. So she did all that. Yeah.
How did you
it worked out perfectly because we all just like, I think everybody in the young professionals division is amazing and we all work very well together and we all have very similar goals and it works out.
Yeah. How did you get connected with Eden?
Honestly, I saw a post as I was scrolling Workplace, and it was like, sign up to be a state leader. And I looked into it a little bit more, and I was like, okay, why not? And I did it, and here I am. So super thankful for it, but it wasn't, it was something where it wasn't expected, but I'm super grateful it happened.
Yeah, I'm so fired up for EXPCon when we're all together. Are you going to shareholders?
I won't be at shareholders this year, unless it's a very last minute decision that I make, but EXPCon most definitely will be there. Very excited for that.
Let's
Nice.
go.
Yeah, shareholders will be cool. Eden, Andrew, and Jacob, we're all headed out there. So there should be quite a few YPs.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's events like those they're so great. And I hear so many wonderful things from people. It's a great way to meet and network, especially being in a cloud-based brokerage like we are. It's, you need to be around people. So
It is nice to get. Have you been to EXPCon before?
I haven't. I've never been. I know, I've never been. So yeah, when 2020, that wasn't happening. And then last year it was in Vegas and I wasn't 21. So now I'm able to go, and but I'm excited. Yeah.
Let's go. We're all going to get to celebrate our first year being 21 in Vegas.
Oh, right. That's funny.
Oh, God. Y'all are going to need chaperones.
You guys, your birthday is around the time, right? I think we talked about that.
Mine's July. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it
Mine's
is
in-
around there.
Mine's in a week.
Oh, okay. I don't know what we were talking about then, but
I think we were talking about a delayed celebration.
Yeah.
oh, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
it was.
waiting to celebrate for EXPCon.
Yes.
Yeah, but I actually do want to get all the young professionals together and like do something like that. Like if we nothing crazy, but like if we just went to like a nightclub or something. Nothing crazy. I'm just
Nothing
open.
crazy.
I'm just open to seeing
That's what they always say. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, what happens in Vegas
Stays in Vegas.
stays in Vegas.
They do
Yeah.
too.
I'm super fired up about that. And have you been at EXP your entire career?
I started, no, I started when I was in Houston. I was at a local boutique brokerage for just 6
Mm.
and then I moved to Austin, and that brokerage obviously wasn't a part of Austin's MLS, so I was forced to switch. But I'm super thankful that it worked out the way that it did.
Do you agent attract at all, or?
I don't right now. I have a couple of agents under me, but I'm not big on the attraction part just yet. It's been really just like production and trying to get through, these last 4 years.
What is your mom's opinion on EXP?
My mom's opinion on EXP,
Mhm.
she loves it. She loves it. It's like one of those brokerages that when you really look into, how could you not?
She's with the XP?
She's with EXP.
Is your mom your first in your downline, your sponsor?
So my mom is actually under me. So she joined.
Oh, you brought her.
I brought her.
What?
Yeah, we
Nice.
joke about that all the time, but I brought her. So
Really?
yep.
So what did you just tell? Did she know quite a bit about EXP? Because it's either people love it or they hate it.
She
Because
knew.
of it.
Yeah, she did. She knew about it. And it just worked out, once I started it, and then I was able to get my feet wet in it, and then I told her about it, and she's like, okay, I'll try it out, and she's stayed ever since. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Go. Good for you.
But it is funny. We joke about it all the time that she's under me. So
Yeah. Well, hey, she's able to give back to you a little bit. So that's good.
yeah, for sure.
Good for you. Well, what else do you got going on? Do you got anything crazy going on that you want to share before we get out of here? And also, while we're getting out, let everyone know where we can find out more about you, your social medias, and anything else.
Sure. Yeah, no, nothing crazy for right now. It's really just we're going to start planning these events for the young professionals, which I'm super excited about. We've been talking about maybe doing a Top Golf idea. So I think that would be really fun. But yeah, that's just it. We're just continuing to grow every single day and continue to collaborate with other agents and help inspire people. And here at EXP Young Professionals, just continuing to, help kind of launch this and help younger, and the younger professionals build their career. So that in itself is pretty exciting.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited to see what you guys got going on. Larry, do you have anything crazy going on in Florida? I know you guys just brought in your second person.
No, I mean, no, there's nothing wild going on. I mean, we're obviously our state's hosting shareholders. So, we're going to do a little something at shareholders and just on behalf of Florida and anybody from YP that, is in attendance will be able to show up and hopefully, do a little bit of outreach and grow YP that way.
Yeah. That's super smart. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you got to take advantage. That's sweet. So Montana, give us your Instagram handle, give us your phone number if you want people to call you about this show, and let's wrap this up.
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Montana Kloss. And my phone number, I can give that. It's 832-588-5965. That's all on my Instagram as well, my email and my contact information. So anybody can feel free to DM me if they have any questions about wanting to maybe get more involved with EXP Young Professionals or just have any questions at all. We all started from somewhere, and I know I've been through the struggle and I've been through the hustle. And so if anybody has any questions at all, just message me on Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, you're really you're a good person to look up to as somebody who's like 2 years into the business. You've kind of crossed that bridge to that 4th year. So we're excited to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.